Hey everybody, this is my longfin German blue ram, and lately I've been treating it for pop-eye disease. Its right eye has been bulged out of its head, and I'm happy to say the swelling has gone down considerably. It's still a little bit bulged out, but not nearly what it used to be. So today is going to be the last day of treatment, and I'm actually going to be putting the treatment in the tank here in a few minutes, but I wanted to grab my camera because I just noticed as the fish was swimming around, it does indeed have long stringy poop hanging down behind it. And in a video the other day, see, now you can see it, I had a few viewers suggest that they had seen this on the fish. And I looked and looked and looked, and I never did see any of the long stringy poop on the fish. But what I thought my viewers were seeing was perhaps the long filaments that you can see on the ventral fins there, the pectoral fins there. I guess those would be the ventral fins. And so I thought maybe the viewers that had pointed out what they thought they had seen and just simply got confused. But that definitely is long, stringy poop coming out of the fish. So that definitely indicates that something is going wrong. Now, what I suspect it is not some sort of infection that I've introduced into the tank. I ran the temperature of this tank down pretty low for a few days. We had a really cold snap. This is actually the coldest room in my house. And I had the thermometer, the heater in this tank set pretty low. It was fluctuating between like 79 and 81 degrees. And that is just too low for this kind of fish. I found that keeping it up around 85 or even higher than that makes this fish seem to thrive. And so I've got the temperature back up. I did order a secondary heater for this tank, but I had issues with that. It showed up broken, and I've ordered a new one which just arrived. So in the process of getting the meds put in the tank, I'm also going to get the new heater put in the tank. I do have it sitting in a bucket right now. One of my viewers very wisely suggested whenever I get a new heater, they said they always stick it in a 5-gallon bucket and test it out to make sure it works before they risk putting it in their fish tank and, risk electrocuting their fish or shorting out their electrical system in their house or something like that. So I've got the heater in a bucket. It's getting up to temperature now, and provided everything works okay, by the end of this evening, I'm going to have a secondary heater in this tank trying to keep the fish warm. This little digital heater I've got down here, it's a 100-watt heater, but it really just doesn't seem to cut the mustard. It always seems like it's struggling to keep this tank warm enough. And as you can see right now, I've got it set for 30, and it's lit up trying to get it up to 30 degrees. Once it hits 30, that little red light will shut off, but it'll only stay off for a few minutes, and then it'll be right back on, trying to get the tank warm again. And I don't have a ton of circulation in this tank either, so even if we're looking at 29 or 30 degrees down there, this end of the tank might not be sitting there at all. It might be a full degree lower, so that still puts us down into the lower end of what's acceptable for this ram. But I'm happy to say that his eye is getting better and his colors come back and his behavior's beginning to begin normal again. So I'm not sure what the deal with the eye bugging out was all about, but I think the white stringy poop comes from the low temperatures. I think his gut bacteria was probably suffering, and whenever your gut bacteria is not working properly, then your digestion doesn't work properly. And I think that perhaps is where we're getting that long stringy poop coming from. But you can see he's pretty active now where that water's flowing in. I've got a bit of a waterfall action happening right now, and that creates a lot of underwater current. You saw when he swam through it, he's kind of struggling in that, but he just chased after some floating food that went by, and you can see how bright and vibrant his colors are again. So I'm definitely happy with the results. I think a combination of putting some salt in the water and bringing the temperature back up was probably as significant as medicating the tank. So today's going to be my last day with the medication, and as far as I'm concerned, by tomorrow his eye should be back to normal. I mean, the difference between this morning and now is noticeable. This morning it was still noticeably bugged out, and now it's to the point where you'd really kind of have to look at it to decide whether it was anything wrong with it or not. So I think by tomorrow he'll be back to normal and looking good. So hopefully, cross your fingers, we're going to write this off as a successful treatment. But I did want to show that there was indeed some white stringy poop out there for all of my viewers that noticed that before. You were not wrong. You did see it. And I think that's got to do with the gut bacteria, and I think it's got to do with the temperatures being too low in the tank. So it's probably going to take a few days for the fish's body to get back into whack. And of course, with the medication in the tank, I don't know what that's necessarily doing to the gut bacteria either. I know if you take like antibiotics and stuff, that can wreak havoc on your gut bacteria. So I don't think I'm putting antibiotics in the tank at the moment, but I am putting, some medication in there that's supposed to fight microbial infections and stuff like that. So it very likely could be having an impact on the gut bacteria in the fish as well. So after today, we'll get back into doing a water change, get the water cleared out, and then hopefully give it another week or so, and that fish's digestion will be back to normal as well. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you followed along with my little saga here and got to see him come back to hopefully a full recovery. It'll be another day or two before we know that for sure. So make sure you're subscribed and you won't miss that or anything else I've got coming up. And then don't forget, of course, this one is my 20-gallon open-topped office tank. So thanks for watching. I'll see you real soon in the next one.